monitoring spirits be so fucking real. You will try to isolate yourself from people who don't serve your highest good or people who don't mean you the best in life, and they will still go through other people around you to try to get information about you. Those are witches and covens. Those are spell works. That's black magic. When you get into a group of 2 or more people, which is called a coven, and you sit there and you talk about them, whether they're doing good or bad, because you have nothing else to talk about. So you bring up people. Hello, good people. Happy Tuesday. You see the title of this video because I'm sure I titled it something like, you need to shut the up. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you all know that my channel is very unorthodox. It's about me living in my truth, telling my stories, vlogging, lifestyle, personal time stories, personal time or personal story times. So I'm going to tell you about a story time that happened today, and it happened real quick. And this is how sharp my spirit is. And I believe that you all spirits are just as sharp, because I'm starting to find a lot of people who are like-minded like myself, who are subscribing to my channel. Shout out to all my new subscribers who are able to relate to my personal story times when it comes to family members, friends, relationships, etc. So tell me this, y'all. Well, y'all can't tell me, but I'm about to tell y'all this. So is my mic on? Okay. So today I'm talking to my sister, and I'm talking to one of my sisters, and we're just having a discussion. And well, the title of this video, the reason why it's titled that is because monitoring spirits are so real. Like, monitoring spirits are so real. There are people who you may cut off from your life that you don't want to be around. The reason why, Editor Akiela here, but the reason why monitoring spirits are so real and why you have to be careful about them is because they could cause certain blockages in your life spiritually and energetically, and cause certain things to happen in your lineage. I want to get deeper into this understanding, but that's why I'm explaining this, is because you'll wonder like and this is why it's important to shut up in the pre-stages and the seed stages of anything that you have going on. I.e., say for example, you got accepted into college and you don't want anyone to know yet because you are focused on getting into school and you want to get there, or and you want to accomplish what it is that you want, especially if you're older and you're going back to school. You want to accomplish your goal and then tell people. As well as if you're pregnant, the first trimester of your pregnancy, it's important to stay quiet, because there are monitoring spirits who can have evil eyes that send certain energies your way, energy blockages that could cause you to either lose your baby. And you could think of the baby as being a brand, a project, or a creative, or something creative in your life that you're going after in your life, that you don't want them to know any of your business. You don't even want them to know an inkling about you. You don't even want them, especially if these are people that you grew up with. These are toxic people that you grew up with, and you've had to learn to survive without them, and you've had to go against the grain of toxic family members, and you've had to learn to be confident in yourself because your family members, your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your sisters, people that you grew up with firsthand, immediate family, were your first bullies. That is what I experienced. So a lot of my story times and the way that I see my world comes from the way that I was raised by a lot of fucking bullies. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I want you to know that stand strong in your belief. Stay strong. If you don't want any type of, my family members consistently show me why I move the way I move and why I shouldn't feel bad about it. And they always prove me right. And I have 2 examples. Well, one is, the first one is RP to my cousin. One of my cousins just got, today is Tuesday, August 27th. I just had a cousin pass from a fatal stabbing in Dorchester, Massachusetts this past Friday. I have no idea what the altercation about, but my cousin was 52 years old, and he's a guy, and he got into a fight with another guy who was 38 years old, and they have the same first name. So they got into a fight in Dorchester and my cousin died. And that really, really shocked me. It was almost so surreal that when I was reading the article about it, I just couldn't believe it. And I reached out to his sister, which used to be my favorite cousin. I reached out to her, and I know she needs time because she's grieving at this time. I reached out to her, and we haven't spoken in years. So I did the mature thing, which is set my pride aside and call her, reached out to her. She didn't answer the phone, and I seen that she read my text message, but she didn't answer that either. But let me tell you something. Even if you have a falling out with a family member and things like that, if you feel the need to reach out to family members because you hear some devastating news such as that, it's okay to put your pride to the side, put your ego to the side, and put your differences to the side about how you feel about that person, because you know that they had a close relationship with that sibling. So I reached out to her. And once I did so, I called my sister and I was like, dang, sis, we were discussing the traumatic event. As I'm speaking to my sister, there are other family members. We started talking about something, and then I was just like, the only reason I found out about the fatal stabbing of my cousin, Edison Akiela here, the only reason I found out about the fatal stabbing of my cousin is because my family members knew that I was close with his sister, and they thought that I should know. But I usually don't put myself in my family business because I just don't care to understand or know what they're doing, because I'm so focused on me. And that's very important to me, especially when you've been around bullies. Like, why would you deal with that? But I'm glad that they cared enough to tell me. This is why I have ostracized myself from certain members of the family, because even though devastating things that be happening, family members, it seems like they still love to keep up with shit. They will follow you, or not even necessarily follow you, but they could be watching. Hey, y'all. When I was speaking to my sister earlier today, the point that I'm making about this video is because monitoring spirits are very real. I'm speaking to my sister, and there are things that I tell my sister. I'd be like, hey, sis, I'm going to tell you this, but don't tell nobody. I'm going to say this to you, but I don't want you to say anything to nobody. I'll explain more about the dynamics of the cousin with her brother. Her brother just passing, but I really don't want to speak too much on it because her brother just passed. It's a very fresh wound. I don't know if she's watching this video, but if you are watching this video, I send so much love to you. You have my number now. I called you, I text you, and you can definitely respond whenever you get ready. But y'all know why I don't be fucking with y'all, right? So when as I'm talking to my sister, she all of a sudden brings up my aunt who I don't talk to, because every time I've tried to tell my aunt something that I wanted to accomplish in my life, she told me, oh, like when I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, I told my aunt, I was like, Auntie, I want to move out to California. And she was like, oh, you don't need to move out there because the tax is too high. Mind you, she's living out there. I told my aunt I wanted to come to Miami, Florida, and she told me, oh, it's expensive to live out there. It's like every time I told my aunt I wanted to do something, every time I tell her I wanted to do something, she gave me a problem instead of a solution. And I eventually just felt like she didn't have my best interest at heart. And I still feel like she don't have my best interest at heart sometimes. And I genuinely do. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because she, to me, has a monitoring spirit. And I don't like people in my business. I don't like to share any news with you, any goals, any accomplishment, anything that I'm trying to achieve in my life, because I feel like if you've never had the best interest in my life, all of this stemmed from a conversation, because me and my sister were talking about a traumatic event that happened with my cousin, and then it led to this and it led to that. And that's how conversations go with monitoring spirits. You get to talk about one subject and it leads to another subject. When the monitoring spirit, the person that's really watching you, i.e. my aunt, she called my sister to be like, oh, I hope y'all keeping up with me. She called my sister knowing that my sister's younger than me, so she's a bit more naive, especially when it comes to the spiritual realm. So she calls my sister knowing that I don't fuck with her, knowing she blocked from my phone, knowing that I don't have shit to say to you, knowing that you blocked from all my social media. You know that. But you choose to call my sister. My sister knows that you blocked too, but you choose to call my sister because you're a monitoring spirit and be like, oh, how's everything going with you? How's life? Like, how's school? How's this? How's that? Oh, and then sneaking out, how's Akiela doing? What Akiela got going on? What's doing this? Oh, yeah. To me, that's monitoring spirits, because bitch, I don't talk to you. Sorry, auntie, but I don't talk to you and I don't fuck with you and I don't let you know any of my business. So why are you going to my sister to don't ask about me? Don't ask about me. And that's the reason I'm making this video is because those monitoring spirits be so fucking real. You will try to isolate yourself from people who don't serve your highest good or people who don't mean you the best in life, and they will still go through other people around you to try to get information about you, just to go back and talk about you, and those are witches and covens. Those are spell words. That's black magic. When you get into a group of two or more people, which is called a coven, and you sit there and you talk about them, whether they're doing good or bad, because you have nothing else to talk about. So you bring up people. You bring up, oh, I talked to such and such today, and she told me about such and such, and yeah, she down there, she doing all right. And then word of mouth travels like that. Because those are monitoring spirits asking about you, knowing damn well you don't fuck with them, and then you have to go back and be like, damn, how they found that out? Because you done told somebody close to you who you didn't know talk to them, who told them, and now they done told them and them too, and now they all know your business because it trickled for this one naive person who had no idea what they were actually doing. The monitoring spirit was using the was using the flying monkey to extract information and then talk about you in a coven of witches. And witches aren't people who are in the kitchen. Witches aren't I ain't talking about the people who doing, even though those are witches, I'm also talking about the people who run in their mouth, whether it's good or bad about you, when they don't have your best interest at heart. They just want to gossip. So the point that I'm making is, tell me why, after all that is said and done, I get off the phone with my sister. Because I tell my sister all the time, like, sister, I'm going to tell you this. And you know what? It's important to test the spirit. Test the spirit. You have to test the spirit, because it's important you can have faith that people will be like, oh, that's my sister, I don't think she would ever do that to me. But you also have to test the spirit and be like, let me give them a crumb and see what they do with this. So tell me why I get off the phone with my sister earlier today, and I'm like, and I eat and I take a nap, and I wake up from my nap, and my spirit, something's nugging at my spirit, like, something's off, because I didn't bring up my aunt, and I don't bring up my aunt because I don't fuck with her. So, and I feel some type of way about her favoritism towards my sibling. So all the things I ever told her I wanted to do, she told me, she always gave me a problem. But she always, the sister I'm calling them, my sister, who's my favorite sister, who I'm telling all the information to, how I feel like it's going back and telling my aunt, and I got proof of it, who I feel like it's going back and telling my aunt all stuff about me, knowing that I don't talk to my aunt. She's like, everything that my sister ever wanted. When my aunt first moved to Hawaii, she asked my sister, did she want to go? My sister didn't want to move. When my aunt first moved to California, she asked my sister, did she want to go? My sister didn't want to move. When my aunt first moved to Miami, she asked my sister, did she want to go? You get the point I'm making. Everywhere that my aunt has ever been, she's always invited my sister, but she never invited me. She never invited, and I've confronted her about this as well. First, she wanted to say, oh, you got married. Oh, then you had but no, it was before that. You've never given me the same opportunity that you gave my sister, and I've always made it happen regardless of the opportunity not being granted to me. I've always figured out a way for myself, and I feel like that's something that they can't stand, because even though I go against the grain, I still always figure it out for myself. And they be like, this bitch, she don't fucking listen to us, but she still fucking make a way. And she ends up doing way better than what we projected onto her, because they thought I was going to be like my mom, pregnant with kids in high school, living in my hometown right now. But I went against the grain. I defied the odds, and I propelled and excelled to go further. But that's why I don't fuck with them, because they spoke so much shit over my life. And now that I'm living abundantly, I don't fuck with them. So I'm asleep. I mean, I get off the phone with my sister and I go take a nap. I have this weird ass dream. Like, I wake up from the dream and I'm all perplexed. Like, what was that? So I take a little moment to sit in my energy and pay attention to what just happened, and then I reflect and I become introspective on my thoughts about what was happening right before I had this snap, because I was in such a different space. And it's important that you pay attention to where your mind goes before you drift off to sleep. You can control that. So as I'm sitting in this space where my mind is intellectually observing my thoughts about what was going on, I'm like, your sister and your sister and your aunt was talking about you. And I'm like, what? Because I don't fuck with her. I'm for real, y'all. I don't fuck with her or her kids. All them blocked from my social media. So her daughter is the one who did that shit to me. And I put in a video a while back about how when I told him about she was the favorite cousin, the favorite niece of the family, that's her daughter. So I wake up and I text my sister. I'm like, hey sis, did you bring up my name to auntie, or did she ask about me? And my sister waited like 90 minutes to text me back, and she finally texted me back, and she says she wouldn't be herself if she didn't ask about any of us. And I'm like, and all of a sudden I just felt my spirit say, bingo, confirmation. And then I responded back to my sister. I was like, I had a weird dream. And then my sister, she didn't text me back. She called me and she's just like, yeah, but it wasn't nothing negative or nothing positive or nothing like that. She's just asking. She was just, going down the line and asking about each and every one of us. And I said, boom, that's exactly what I'm talking about. A monitoring spirit. My point exactly. So I would like for y'all to comment down below. Is that too much? Have you all experienced that? Am I speaking on like the frequency that I be speaking on, the way that I'm thinking? I know y'all understand. Like, I know that I have other high vibrational thinkers out there who think like myself, who don't let nobody play with them. And you pay attention to you pay attention to everybody who comes into contact with you. Like, what is going on here? So, and then you get your answers in dreams. You get your answers in meditation. You get your answers when you sit down with yourself and you become introspective and you take accountability for your actions. So therefore, you know what it is and what it ain't, because you know yourself. Therefore, nobody can play with you or play in your face or goddamn think it's a game when, I know who you are. I see you in spirit and in flesh. So yeah, thoughts? Tell me your thoughts down below on what you think about my video today. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I have a couple scripting videos coming up, so they'll be out before the end of this month. This month is almost over with. And tell me about your thoughts on what I just said, because yeah, it came to me in a motherfucking dream. That's why people be scared to come around me, because I could see through them in spirit and in flesh. That shit be coming to me in a dream. There are things, and then sometimes when I bring up things to people and I tell them like say for example, if sometimes I could close my eyes and I could tell like a girl who is, and never mind, I'll say that for the next video. But anyway, tell me your comments down below and we'll chit chat later. Toodles.